Welcome back to the channel. Watch the video until the end, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support us. We start with a classic example of a fish. Imagine a fish that in an alternate universe could have evolved into a human being but did not make this transition. Not because it never left the ocean, but rather because despite having eyes that suggest greater intelligence, there is no significant distinction between it and its aquatic ancestors. This brings us to a key character in our story, a formidable and fearsome marine predator that harbors a particular disdain for our intelligent fish. Life in the ocean is characterized by a perpetual struggle for survival, where the large and strong consume the small and weak. This was also true 400 million years ago, only at that time the oceans were populated by real monsters, like gigantic reptile fishes hunting long sea centipedes. Some fishes were protected by bony armor, while others had teeth as sharp as razors. This predatory pressure pushed some weaker species to leave the ocean in search of safety, food, or simply driven by curiosity. According to the theory of evolution, over the millions of years that followed, these aquatic adventurers developed limbs and fur, and some even began to live in trees. Now imagine an alternate scenario where the ocean was less dangerous, rich in algae and phytoplankton, and with fewer predators. Under these ideal conditions, fishes would have had little incentive to leave this aquatic paradise to face the challenges of terrestrial evolution. However, millions of years later, fishes remain largely unchanged. Their brains are developing. They learn to communicate with each other using echolocation and to coordinate the movements of their fins. They feel no need to evolve further, living a simple life of hunting, reproduction, and socializing in the water. The story of human beings, on the other hand, took a completely different direction. After leaving the aquatic environment, our ancestors faced challenges that forced them to become smarter and more adaptable. They developed the use of tools, the ability to walk upright, and finally conquered the land, evolving into Homo sapiens. This evolutionary path was shaped by a series of unique circumstances, including encounters with predators and environmental changes. Returning to the ocean, we observe how fishes, while not having reached the same level of terrestrial development, have nevertheless evolved complex behaviors such as building ant-like structures in coral reefs and developing strategies to defend themselves from aerial predators. Exploring the diversity of marine mammals such as seals, dolphins, and whales, we notice how, despite sharing a common ancestor with fishes, they have evolved in radically different ways after embracing aquatic life again. These marine mammals represent extraordinary examples of how life can adapt and thrive in both terrestrial and aquatic environments, following unique evolutionary paths. Seals, for example, descend from the same ancestors as dogs, while manatees share common origins with elephants. Whales and dolphins, which resemble fishes in their oceanic life, are actually closely related to hippos and other ungulate mammals. These adaptations show the flexibility and variety of evolution, which can lead organisms similar to fishes to conquer the land, only to return to the water and develop into completely different forms of life. Now imagine an alternate path for primates, our direct ancestors. If they had chosen to approach the marine environment rather than staying in trees or savannas, they might have developed adaptations similar to those of marine mammals: hairless skin, limbs with swimming membranes, and a body covered with a thick layer of fat for thermal insulation. These changes would have improved their ability to live in water, making them a sort of sea people, intelligent and adapted to aquatic life. In our imaginary scenario, the peaceful and intelligent fishes are now in conflict with these aquatic humans, a new and dangerous enemy. However, the real point of interest here is how intelligence and culture develop in such different contexts. The fishes, which have evolved complex strategies for communication and survival, represent an example of how life can find surprising ways to thrive and adapt. Meanwhile, the hypothetical sea people demonstrate how even the most improbable evolutionary paths can theoretically lead to intelligent and complex forms of life. In conclusion, this exercise in imagination helps us reflect on the infinite possibilities of biological evolution and the many forms that intelligent life could take. Whether on land, in the ocean, or perhaps on distant planets, evolution is driven by a combination of challenges, opportunities, and sheer chance, leading to outcomes as diverse as they are fascinating. The story of human beings and that of fishes in the ocean remind us that ultimately all living organisms share a common origin and are bound by an evolutionary history that encompasses the entire planet.